Hey guys, Turkey's Clocks here with another set of NFL predictions. This time it's week 12. So we got 13 games this week, the least in a week in this season, at least. There are 6 teams on the bye week this week. Usually week 12 does not have any bye weeks because that's usually Thanksgiving, but Thanksgiving is next week. So the 6 teams that are on byes are the Jaguars, the Bengals, the Saints, the Falcons, the Bills, and the Jets. And, the Bills coming off a pretty good win against Kansas City, so. Anyways, let's get started with the picks. So, the Pittsburgh Steelers take on the Cleveland Browns. I'm going to go with the Steelers. They will clinch their 21st winning season in a row. If I remember correctly, this will be their 21st winning season in a row, and it will be another winning season for Mike Tomlin. This would put the Steelers at 9-2 and the Browns 2-9. They would, essentially be out of the playoff hunt. So, I am picking Pittsburgh. They've had a really good season. They beat Baltimore. They almost lost to the Ravens, but, the 2-point conversion failed. So, but I am going with the Steelers over the Browns. This puts them at 9-2, and the Browns 2-9. The Tennessee Titans take on the Houston Texans. I'm going with the Houston Texans. The Texans have their bye week in week 14. So, that'll be the last bye week. As for the Titans, you're not beating the Texans. There's no way. C.J. Stroud is going to run all over. He's going to not run all over. He's going to throw the ball all over your defense, and it's just not going to work out. So, I am going to go with the Houston Texans over the Tennessee Titans. This would put them at 8-4, and the Titans would be 2-9? Yeah, I think they'd be 2-9, so they'd be clinching a losing season. We'll be seeing a couple. You might see a couple playoff eliminations if we're lucky. So, anyways, I'm going to go with the Houston Texans. They will be 8-4, and the Titans will be 2-9. The Minnesota Vikings take on the Chicago Bears. I'm so sorry that these logos are not even transparent with the game slate. That's just Google being Google. But I am going with the Minnesota Vikings. They will be 9-2. And the Bears will be 4-7. I am going with the Vikings for this one. The Vikings actually look pretty good. And although the Lions, they're creeping up against the Lions in the division, so the Lions could win the division, but they've already clinched a winning season. They're 9-1. And as for the Bears, you're 4-7. You're going to be 4-7. So, this would be your 5th straight loss. Even if I don't think the Bears, and they can't even beat Green Bay in their own home. So, why would I expect them to beat Minnesota? So, anyways, I'm going with the Vikings. They will be 9-2, and the Bears will be 4-7. The Dallas Cowboys take on the Washington Commanders. I'm going with the Commanders here. The Cowboys just suck. They will. This is just a repeat of 2020, and it's just isn't looking good for the Cowboys. And I don't think Mike McCarthy is going to be their head coach next season. He will probably be one of the end of season casualties, also known as Black Monday. So. I'm going to go with the Commanders. They will be 7. No, not 7-4. They'd be 8-4, right? Yeah, they'd be 8-4. They haven't had their bye week yet. And as for the Cowboys, they're the last bye week. The Commanders. And I think New England is. I think New England is also slated to have their bye week in Week 14, but I'm not exactly sure. Let me check. Yeah, their bye week's Week 14. Anyways, I'm going to go with the Commanders. They will be 8-4, and as for the Cowboys, they will be 3-8. So just like 2020. Anyways, I'm going to go. Alright, so the New England Patriots take on the Miami Dolphins. I'm going to go with the Dolphins here. They looked really good. I mean, Tua's back, and although they've had that skid because Tua was in concussion protocol, they're currently 4-6, and I believe they will be 5-6 after this win against New England, and the Patriots will be 3-9. So. No playoffs for you, unless, everything breaks loose and, you somehow get in because you win the division. Which I don't see that happening because Buffalo can't. But Buffalo, they've already, with the loss, they'd be out of division contention because Buffalo has, more wins, would officially have more wins than New England, so they would probably be eliminated from the playoffs if they lose. So, but anyways, I'm going with the Miami Dolphins. They will be 5-6, and the Patriots will be 3-9. The Kansas City Chiefs, coming off of their first loss since Christmas 2023 to the Las Vegas Raiders, take on the Carolina Panthers, who were on a bye week. So they're currently 3-7. The Chiefs are 9-1. I believe the Chiefs will come back and win this. I think they go 14-3. Believe it or not. Because, there's a couple teams that may have a run for their money, like Houston and Pittsburgh, which are the Week 16 and Week 17 games. But as for the Panthers, this will put them at 3-8. I don't think Dave Canales is the issue. I think it's the whole team. I think the whole team is bad. They don't have any good players. They don't have good receivers. They don't have a good quarterback. So it is not looking too good in Charlotte. So I'm going to go with the Chiefs. They will be 10-1. And as for the Panthers, they will be 3-8. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers take on the New York Giants. Both of these teams coming off a bye. The Giants being 2-8 and the Buccaneers being 4-6. I think the Buccaneers beat the Giants. And they snap that losing streak. So that puts them at 5-6. I don't know how this team started 3-1. And now they're 4-6. It's kind of bizarre, actually, because I'm not exactly sure who's going to... Oh, wait, it's probably going to be Atlanta. If Atlanta chokes the season away and Tampa Bay wins out, then, yeah, they probably would win the division. But right now Atlanta's on top. So, but yeah, I'm gonna go with the. Would that mean if the Chiefs beat the Panthers, do they clinch a playoff spot because they're in the AFC and it's easier to make the playoffs in the AFC than in the with 10 wins than in the NFC? Or is it 11 wins you have to make the playoffs? But I'm not sure. But I'm going to go with the Buccaneers. They will be 5-6. The Giants will be 2-9. So not a good season for the Giants. The Detroit Lions take on the Indianapolis Colts. I'm going to go with the Lions. They will be 10-1. The Colts will be what is their record? 5-5? No, Indy hasn't had their bye week yet, so they're 5-6. So that puts them at 5-7. And as for the Lions, this puts them at 10-1. So the Colts, the Commanders, I don't even remember. There's 6 teams on bye in Week 14, which is the last team to have bye week. The last 6 teams to have bye weeks. So after this week, there will be 24 teams. Actually, no, not 24 teams. 26 teams to have bye weeks, and then after Week 14, it'll be. Yeah, but I'm going to with the Detroit Lions. They'll be 10-1, and as for the Colts, they will be 5-7. The Denver Broncos take on the Las Vegas Raiders. I'm going to go with the Broncos. I know that I think the Raiders and Broncos already played at least once this season, but I think this is the second time. But as for the Broncos, they have a good quarterback. And I think, they won't beat us in Week 18. That's for sure. But as for the Raiders, yeah, losing to the Miami Dolphins in embarrassing fashion. I know they had to fire a few people. Luke Getsy. They haven't fired Antonio Pierce yet. I don't know how that man ended up being the head coach, but, I guess he won the locker room at the end of the year last year. I don't know. It's just a mess in Vegas. But as for the Broncos, they would put them at 7-5. Denver is also one of those teams that not have a bye week yet. And as for the Raiders, this would put them at 2-9. Yeah, so not a good season for Las Vegas. The Arizona Cardinals take on the Seattle Seahawks. I'm going to go with the Cardinals for this matchup. I know the Seahawks beat the 49ers on a walk-off touchdown by Geno Smith, and I don't think that's going to happen this time around. I think Kyler's going to, throw the ball to Marvin Harrison a bunch of times, and it's just going to be like, oh, yeah, the Cardinals are going to win. Seattle's not necessarily out of the playoff picture just yet. I think we've established what teams are good and which teams are bad. Seahawks are just okay. They're currently 5-5. The Cardinals currently leading the division at 6-4. They came off a bye week, and I think that they will beat the Seahawks, and that would put them at 7-4, and the Seahawks 5-6. So. So yeah, I'm going to go with the Cardinals. Speaking of the 49ers, they play the Green Bay Packers. I'm going to go with Green Bay. And they had the way that they beat the Chicago Bears was so ballsy. I think, it's, blocking a field goal, the game-winning field goal. That was absurdly funny for Chicago. And Green Bay is currently 7-3. The 49ers are 5-5, so they're not really that good this year. See, if they were in Super Bowl contention status, they would probably be at least 9-1. But that's you know. But they're 5-5, so I think the Packers beat the 49ers here. They beat their kryptonite. As for the Packers, this puts them at 8-3, and the 49ers 5-6. So, not a really good look for the 49ers. Sunday night, we have the Philadelphia Eagles taking on the Los Angeles Rams. I'm going to go with the Eagles. And the Rams are currently 5-5, and I think they lost, if I remember. But, I don't remember. But, oh, wait, no, I think they won. Just because, I picked the Rams last week. I don't remember who they played, but, but anyways, I'm going to go with the Eagles. They will still lead the division, the NFC East. The NFC East will still have a new champion. This season, it's like either going to be Philly or the Commanders. So, but I am going to go with the Eagles. This puts them at 9-2, and the Rams 5-6. Last but not least, on Monday night, we get the Harbaugh Bowl, the long-awaited Harbaugh Bowl. The Baltimore Ravens, led by John Harbaugh, take on the Los Angeles Chargers, led by Jim Harbaugh. So, two brothers coaching against each other. So, it's like the Ravens and the 49ers in the Super Bowl, back when, Jim Harbaugh was the head coach there. But I am going to go with the Baltimore Ravens. This could go either way. The Chargers are actually pretty good, although the Chargers can't really finish games. They finished it against Cincinnati last week. They're currently 7-3. The Ravens are currently 7-4. They just lost to the Pittsburgh Steelers, so this puts them at 8-4, and the Chargers would be 7-4. And no, the Chargers are not going to win the division. That is going to be Kansas City. So anyways, that is it for Week 12 of the NFL season. We will see you guys next week on Thanksgiving Day. I will definitely be recording that much, much sooner than 5 o'clock. So, anyways, I will see you guys in the next video, the next prediction video.